I can't. Just go to another market and check into a hotel. They are on official tour.
We're at the Moon River Brewery.
We're gonna head right back to that store. Head right back to that store.
6'5", I'm working already.
Head back right to that store. This is another thing I like about weeknight tours is we're able to come to the basement. The basement's been refinished, so there's air conditioning and heat down here. There isn't when we get to the second floor. So a lot of times on weekends it's reserved for birthdays or wedding rehearsal dinners or that sort of thing. So we rarely get to come down here on Friday, Saturday night tours. But this is where a lot of Ghost Adventures captured some things. And also Ghost Hunters, this is actually the only space where Ghost Hunters captured something they weren't able to explain. Ghost Hunters was here in 2006. There was a pool table in the middle of this room in that episode, and they captured a shadowy figure moving along the back side of that pool table. In 2009, when Ghost Adventures was here, one of Zach Bagans' crew members felt like they were overtaken by a spirit in this room as soon as they walked through this arched doorway. And later on, they had an EVP recording from this room in the basement, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But first, a little bit of the history of this building. So many tragedies have occurred here at Moon River that it's been claimed to be one of the most haunted locations in the entire country. Not just Savannah, the entire United States. It was built as a hotel, the first hotel in Savannah in 1821. It housed our first bank, our first post office. There was a bar similar to what you see tonight. So this was a pretty happening place with a lot of people coming in and going out. Typically it was a place where merchants would come and stay. So the town doctor would have to treat some of those patients, some of those merchants from time to time staying here. His name was Dr. Philip Minus. He was Jewish, and on one of his visits, he was walking past the bar when the town drunk at the time, James Stark, made a lot of derogatory comments about Dr. Minus's Jewish faith. Well, this set Dr. Minus off. He pulls out his handkerchief, throws it at the feet of James Stark, meaning he's challenging him to a duel. There's a miscommunication of when and where this duel is going to occur, so it never happened. But a couple weeks later, Dr. Minus comes back to the hotel, sees James Stark on the staircase leading up to the second floor, which we'll go up in just a minute. Dr. Minus makes eye contact with him. Dr. Minus sees James Stark reaching into his breast pocket, and that's when Dr. Minus beats him to the punch and shoots James Stark dead on that staircase. After investigating his dead body, they didn't find a weapon in his breast pocket at all. All they found was a flask. They believe he was just reaching to get another drink as he was coming down the staircase. James Stark is one of the restless spirits that would be haunting this space today. He's been known to push people, choke people, slap people. That EVP recording that I was telling you about is believed to be James Stark, and I'll tell you more about that story because it involves the second floor when we get up there. But I had a gentleman on one of my tours with his wife, and this took place on the second floor. The first picture, you just see him standing in front of the staircase, and you'll see this when we go up there in a little bit. The second picture, you see a bluish-green orb heading right towards him, and it looks like he's being pushed. The third picture, it looks like he's been shoved into the wall. This is the type of thing we blame James Stark for. And this guy was saying, I better see something, I better get something tonight. This happened to him at Moon River, and he left the building. He refused to stay in the building after this happened. So this happens quite often. Not every tour, but we've had people harmed on some of our tours, or what they feel like is somebody trying to do them harm.
That explains why I tripped on those stairs.
Yeah, it could have something to do with it, right? So that's just the first tragedy you've heard about. The second tragedy occurred while it was a hotel. Slaves worked in this hotel. They were locked into an attic space at night. When we go to the second floor, it's going to be pretty comfortable tonight, but imagine the middle of summer, hot, humid day, no air conditioning up there. These slaves that worked in the